A very warm welcome to Candid Conversation. A very good morning to all of you, our viewers, and a warm welcome to Deputy Commissioner, Baksa District of Assam, Ranjan Sharma, to the show Candid Conversations. Thank you so much for joining me
Thank
this
you.
morning. It's
Thank you,
lovely to
Oineetom.
have you. Pleasure. It's wonderful to have you on the show one more time. Of course, last time when we met, it was in the middle of the whole COVID situation. Now things seem to be looking a little better. Has the focus now come back to more on developmental work?
Yes, Oineetom. Last time when we talked, as you were saying, we were in the middle of COVID, and at the same time, as you know, we were in the middle of the Model Code of Conduct, which was in force
Yes.
for the BTC elections, which were actually scheduled to be held on 4th April, but
Yes.
because of COVID again, they were postponed, and we
Right.
finally had the elections on the 7th of December in Baksa district. The process ended on 12th evening when the counting was done, and during this period, we couldn't start any new developmental activities. Everything was at a standstill, and after the elections, which you know and everyone else knows were very peaceful elections, surprisingly, we had always heard earlier that BTC elections used to see a lot of violence or a lot of friction between different rival groups. But this time we saw a very peaceful election. In fact, it was, I think, better than elections in general areas. Anyway, after the elections ended, we had to get back to developmental works. The state government's flagship programs, which had already been started in the general areas of the state, were put on a standstill in these 4 districts of BTC, the Borderland Territorial region now. And immediately after the elections, we started the flagship programs like Oineetom Ojah, whereby rupees 10,000 per annum is given to an eligible female member of a BPL family, usually a widow or a spinster or a separated woman. And we were supposed to give 16,000 beneficiaries per legislative assembly constituencies. And we have now started this process. We have called for applications. We've asked our revenue circle officers to select beneficiaries. And once these come in, we will filter these, we will sift through these applications, and then we will be having around 48,000 beneficiaries in the entire district. Apart from that, we are having the Namghar scheme, whereby we will be giving around 250,000 to each Namghar, a total of 100 such Namghars or Batho Mandirs in our district. And along with the Namghar, we had this Oham Dorhon. Oham Dorhon is a scheme that we had initially started before the COVID pandemic started and before the Model Code of Conduct was in force. We had selected around 16 Mandirs and Namghars in the last year, 2019-20, whereby we had sanctioned rupees 10 lakhs. The government had sanctioned rupees 10 lakhs to each of these institutions. And of course, this again was stalled because of the Model Code of Conduct, and we are now in the process of releasing the money to them. And we will be selecting another 13 numbers of such institutions in the current year. We also have this Oham Adorho Gram Yojana. Oham Adorho Gram Yojana is a scheme whereby 2 model villages in each legislative assembly constituency is selected by the concerned MLA, and rupees 50 lakhs is allocated against each such model village. And you'll be happy to know that the Assam Energy Development Agency, which is a government of Assam organization, with support from the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy Sources in New Delhi, they had provided solar street lights to us, and at the subsidy of 90%, the government of India was paying 90% of the cost, and we were just paying 10% of the cost. So a solar street light which cost around 26,000 rupees cost us just 2,600 rupees. We have now bought 30 such street lamps for each model village, and these are under installation now, under implementation now. We have already started it about 10 days back.
Okay.
So you can say that developmental process now is now back on the rails in the Baksa district.
Right, right. So yes, of course, congratulations for having conducted the elections very peacefully, except for a few minor stray incidents here and there. Overall, it has been really commendable job by all of you there, and also the people of BTR for helping each other in keeping the elections peaceful this time round. So now, like you mentioned, most of the government schemes will be reaching the people of Baksa and the other 3 districts of BTR. Now, there are several other developmental programs also, like push as far as the road infrastructure is concerned. Colleges, establishment of law colleges, medical colleges also have been announced by the government. So are some of these law colleges or medical colleges also coming up in Baksa?
Yes, the newly elected BTC Council with the chief executive member is now has now taken office, and they have started interacting with us. The honorable chief executive member was here in our district a couple of days back, and we were discussing, apart from the developmental schemes, we were also discussing about the allocation of land for law colleges and medical colleges. Of them is coming up in Tamulpur area, and we were also talking about an administrative staff college. Probably we would like to have one of such in our district. And these are some of the schemes that have been announced by the state government, and we are in touch with the council. The chief executive member has shown keen interest. The state government is also pushing for development of these areas, and definitely we will see many such institutions coming up in our district now.
Right. So as far as the recently elected council is concerned, the Borderland Territorial Council, what do you think are the challenges before this particular council? Because Baksa, of course, is one of the most, like there are too many challenges, developmental challenges are there, too many bottlenecks. The district is yet to come up in a great way like other districts of the state. So what, according to you, because you have been an administrator for a very long time, so what, according to you, are the topmost challenges before this council this time round?
Well, one of the topmost challenges in the district and facing the council now is education, road connectivity, communications, public health issues like drinking water supply. As I had earlier mentioned also, drinking water is a major issue in the northern belt of the district, bordering the Bhutan mountains. You'll be surprised because in the summer you have such a lot of rainfall, but in winter the water dries up. Even the Pagladia river, which is such a huge river during the monsoons, during winter the water diminishes, it dwindles to a small stream, and the water, that is the only source of surface water that these people have. And as I was earlier also saying, that we have these Dung Bandh committees, traditional system of water sharing, which is practiced by the northern people. They are all self-sufficient organizations headed by village elders without any government intervention, and they have been systematically sharing water amongst themselves. Now, the Public Health Engineering Department is coming forward, chipping in with their own infrastructural technical expertise, and they have also roped in the Central Groundwater Board. The Central Groundwater Board has started deep boring of for water in some of these areas, water deficient areas, and you'll be happy to know that the Subon Khata Uttar Kushi area, where we have a lot of water scarcity during the winter months, the Central Groundwater Board has already come in with these rig machines, drilling rig machines, which can bore deep inside the earth and extract water. So far, we have not been able to achieve success in the first attempt, but they are now trying for the second time because there is a lot of rock in the below the earth's surface. So we are trying again. We should be able to provide water from the Public Health Engineering Department's water sources.
Right. So last time when we spoke, you also mentioned about around 9,000 returnees coming back to the district, of course, because of
Yes.
the COVID situation. You also shared, how many of the initiatives were being taken to create employment opportunities. So
Yes.
what is the update there now?
Well, most of those who had returned back have stayed back in the district as of now. Some of them, of course, have gone back, but most of these boys, as I was saying, these boys were doing petty jobs outside in Hyderabad, in Goa, in Chennai. Some of
Yeah.
them were security guards in apartments and malls, and some of them were working in hotels and resorts. So I'm very happy to find that some of these boys have now, those who were working in, say, hotels or resorts, they have started their own eateries. They have opened up their own restaurants here in these areas. In the
Right.
northern areas like Nikashi or Daragaon, picnic spots, these boys, 4 or 5 of them have clubbed together and they have opened up a restaurant where they are providing very quality food. In fact,
Yes.
this is the standard of the food that they are serving is as good as any other metropolitan city and at a very reasonable rate. I sometimes myself go to have momos, rolls, and chow mein in these places. They are
Right.
very courteous, they are very good boys, and I think they will be able to do something here. Apart from these boys, some of them are also engaged in agriculture. They have come forward, they have asked me, and I have guided them to the banks to provide them loans so that they can take up agriculture on a in a major way in
Yeah.
with technical expertise from the agriculture department and with scientific implements, and I think they will be able to do better than what they were doing outside the state. Apart from this, the State Bank of India also has this rural self-employment training institute in Kumarikata near Tamulpur,
Right.
where they are providing training programs to boys and girls. Boys, they are having this motor driving training courses, plumbing, domestic wireman or electrician courses, and for women, tailoring, beauty parlor. And recently, I visited that center there, and they were saying that they are getting a very good response this time because many of these boys who were outside have realized that it is much better to be at home and do something fruitful, gainfully engage yourself than going outside and being away from the family to earn a meager amount.
Right. Yes. I'm sure from the administration side also you all must be coming up with schemes and initiatives because few of those you had mentioned earlier as well. So what is the progress there now?
Well, as you know, some of the schemes that were earlier stopped
Yeah.
because of the model code of conduct. We had these
Yes.
uh, border areas development programs. We had the untied fund schemes. Now we have started issuing NITs, notice inviting tenders. We are going to start these works where the local youth also will be able to participate. They will be able to get a part of these works. And apart from that, we also have these assistance programs called Surid, where boys from the economically backward groups, they can
Yeah.
avail of financial assistance for education, or in case of any medical emergencies they can get financial assistance. So these are the schemes which are we have already put back on the track, and we should be able to help these people. Apart from that, we also have the Assam citizen centric service delivery project under the
Okay.
areas project of the government of Assam, whereby we have these public facilitation centers in the DC's office, the SDO civil's office, the revenue circle offices, where you can get online, you can apply online for your permanent residentship certificate. If there is a death in the family, if the head of the family has died, then the next of kin certificate. Then we have this, you can issue caste certificates, you can Baki Jai clearance certificates, then non-creamy layer certificates, and all these things which can now be obtained online. And these public facilitation centers were already in existence, but they are now being again, you know, rejuvenated. Fresh funds have been coming up for development of these places. Fresh infrastructure has been put in, like computers, and the manpower has also been put in these places for easy issue of these services to the public.
Earlier we also spoke about the production of strawberries and watermelons in your
Yes.
district. So this
Yes.
time, as far as the winter crop is concerned, also there's a lot of focus on agriculture from the state government side as well, creating the backward and forward linkages. And we are having this discussion in the backdrop of the farm laws, the agitation going on there along the Delhi borders. In fact, the farmers' protest just intensifying every passing day. So, what about the farmers of Baksa district? And you already mentioned that many of the youngsters now who have come back home, they are also taking to agriculture. So, what are some of the positive measures, the support that the administration is providing?
Whatever the government is doing is for the welfare of the farmers. Whatever they are doing is for the benefit of these people. And they, in our district especially, we have seen that these farmers have been able to obtain the benefits that are being put forward. We have made a close liaison, close coordination between the agriculture department and the farmers. And as I was saying last time, strawberries, watermelons, and you'll also be surprised to know dragon fruits. Dragon fruits which are grown in the Southeast Asian countries are now being produced here also. So these are some of these exotic products which are coming up and which command a high market in the high price in the local market. And the other day, someone was telling me that the watermelons in this district are the tastiest that he has tasted anywhere in the country, even in the north, in Delhi and all Rajasthan and all those places where you get watermelons in such a huge quantity. They are not as tasty as they are in Baksa district. So it's probably due to the soil conditions. You have a lot of abundance in agricultural productivity. Whenever you come to this district, if it is in the summer, you'll see the green fields. If you come in November, you'll find the golden fields and the paddy fields just overhanging with the with the paddy. And such a lot of abundance, such a lot of, you can call it the breadbasket of the state. And the farmers here, I've found most of them are very hardworking, very sincere. They accept modern technology. They are using farm equipments like harvesters, machinery, tractors and harvesters, and they are getting the benefit of the government schemes.
Right. Now, you mentioned that one of the key challenges before the recently elected Borderland Territorial Council is going to be the education sector there. They have already mentioned that some 10 community colleges would be established during this year, during 2021. And I think starting today, they are also holding discussions with NGOs, with educationists, teachers. Now, what could be the other sectors that needs immediate attention from the council? Because as far as my understanding goes, the council would be playing a key role in the development of Baksa and the other three districts of BTR.
Well, apart from the education sector, apart from the public health sector, we also have the road connectivity, the infrastructure development sector. Road connectivity in the district is in a very initial stage, in a very infant stage, you can say, where the roads connectivity to the civil subdivisions from the district headquarters is in a very poor condition. When I go from Moshalpur to Tamulpur, my subdivisional headquarters on the east, I have to travel through two other districts, Nalbari and Kamru, and then only again I can enter Tamulpur subdivision. Similarly, if I have to go to Salbari on the west, I have to cross Nalbari and Borpeta districts before entering the civil subdivision of my district. Now, what I want is that there should be a lateral road parallel to the national highway so that I can travel inside my district from the district headquarters to the civil subdivisions, both on the east and the west. That is yet to be done, and this is something which has already been taken up by the government, and probably because of the resource crunch and because of the huge amount of funds that is required, this was on the back burner for some time. And now with the new council in place and the state government's renewed emphasis on development, we are sure that this will be taken up, because the road from Moshalpur to Tamulpur has to have a bridge over the Pagladia River. Now the Pagladia River, in this place, just as it flows down from the Bhutan mountains, is about almost 1 kilometer in breadth, the riverbed.
Okay.
It's almost 1 kilometer in length. So any bridge that has to be built over such a wide river will cost you anything around 200 crore plus crore rupees.
Right. Right. So a
So,
lot
so
of
this is something
investment
that
would be required.
a lot of funds is required for this.
Yes.
But definitely, I believe and I have heard that the government is taking initiative on this, and they will come up with such a program. Because now in winter, during the dry season, we drive over the dry riverbed and cross to Tamulpur. That cuts the traveling time almost by half. But during summers, we have to go via Nalbari and Kamrup.
Kamrup, yes, which is really, it would be time consuming as
Yes.
well as a lot of hassles to cross two
Yes.
different districts to reach your own subdivisional headquarters.
Yes.
Also, now in the coming days, what would be your top 5, key areas that you would like to focus on in the new year?
Well, we would like to have something done on the tourism sector. As I was earlier saying also, we have a huge potential in the tourism sector. Apart from the Manas, we have Bogamati on the eastern border,
Yes.
which is a very popular picnic spot for people coming from Guwahati and other places.
Yes.
Now we also have Chowki and Daragaon, just north of the district headquarters on the Bhutan border, where there is a lot of footfall, and especially this year, I'm surprised that the turnout has been unprecedented, because last year, probably because of the car agitation, very few people had come here. But now, coming out from the pandemic, people have been locked up for such a long time, and with the decrease in the numbers of COVID positive people in the state, people are now venturing out. They're getting bold enough to go out, and they want to spend some outdoor time. We are finding it.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you, but the crowds which are coming into all your picnic spots must also be putting pressure on the administration to ensure that all COVID protocol is being followed. Of course, the numbers are declining, but there's always that fear that it might actually go up.
Yes, we have. In fact, when we have issued permission to certain local management committees, we have given licenses to some of these local picnic spot management committees. We have asked them to maintain the COVID protocol, and we have also made surprise checks in such places to see that they adhere to the COVID protocol. And apart from that, they should provide clean, hygienic places for the picnickers. There should not be any garbage or filth around the place, and as well as to take safety measures for the security of the picnickers. In fact, yesterday there was an incident in Bogamati where the people had got up on a boat and the boat had capsized, but the water level was very low. It was just knee-deep water, so there was no harm, and all the people were safe. But we have asked them not to ply boats, and this is something that I have asked my civil subdivision officer to check and see why this was not adhered to, and to take action against these people.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry I had interrupted you. We were discussing about the projects, the focus areas in the new year.
Yeah, as I was saying, tourism, then agriculture. We can go for much more in agriculture. Then again, sports. Baksa has a lot of potential in terms of sports. Our boys and girls are naturally inclined towards sports.
Right.
You'll find that we have a good number of footballers here, good number of boxers. One of them had reached the national level also last year, and we also have people who are very interested in wushu.
Okay.
Wushu is a form of the contact sports like karate and kung fu. And yesterday I visited the Baksa district. Baksa district, Mr. Baksa, Miss Baksa competition for bodybuilding and weightlifting, and they were going through the trials, and they will be once they are selected, participants will be taken to the selected participants will be taken to the state level selections, which will be held in Nagaon on 8th and 9th. And you'll be surprised to know that one of our girls, Himani Boro, she was missed year before last year. So I met them yesterday. They were undergoing their trials. They were undergoing the selection process in a place called Thomna, which is a very, it's a very underdeveloped place, about 20 kilometers away from Mosolpur. The road conditions are not very good, but I was surprised to find a very modern gym in that place. And they also told me that we have such gyms in almost all these places. In Boroma, of course, we have. In Tamulpur, we have. In Jala also, we have. In Salbari also. And but these gyms and these participants and these boys and girls who practice this, I feel that whoever goes for these bodybuilding or any such weightlifting exercises, they not only develop their bodies, they not only prepare themselves for competition, but going through any type of physical exercises makes your body fit, and at the same time your mind also is in a positive frame of mind. You have a better frame of mind, a positive frame of mind, where you don't indulge in illegal or antisocial activities. And if we encourage more of our boys and girls to go for such sports, we will have a better society. We will have a better generation who will be taking over the helms of society tomorrow.
Right. Yes. Yeah, so the key focus areas would continue to be agriculture, tourism, education, sports,
communications.
Communications,
and yes.
Also resolving the water problem issue that the northern regions of the district face. So
yes.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, and looking forward to a much more developed Baksa in the coming days under you, as well as the new council headed by Pramod Boro. Thank you once again, and thank you, viewers, for joining me. Thank you.
Thank you, Oineetom. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.